I have absolutely no idea why this refuses to work. There we go. Now we're live on YouTube channel. Now I can see it, and I'm gonna link it.
Yeah, and there we go. Season opener in the Discord.
Finally,
as well.
And it went automatically.
Yes,
so
sir.
apologies to everyone viewing of the issues. So hello, my name is Alupalo. I'm the stand-in commentator here tonight with Italian and Rigo, and as the qualifying is drawing to its close, Ishtar on his final attempt isn't improving, but he still has just about enough time to start a lap, but he spins in the bus stop chicane.
Oh no. That's embarrassing, mate.
And that's it for Ishtar. Let's see. Mighty Chump is heading to the final corners now, but isn't seeming that he's improving. No, he is not. And the next car is Samet. Crosses the second sector line. A tiny improvement. Might be heading on his way to get some air between him and Luke. Round Blachimon, nice and tidy. And what about the braking in the bus stop chicane right at the 100 meter board? Gets both apexes and now the exit. Samet Turkmen crossed the line with a 42.8. Good enough for P3.
Swallow is next here to cross the line. He's slightly
and here's
behind
Oswaldo.
this time. No improvement.
No improvement. And Luke has improved his time to
Booma
retain
up to
P5. Booma has gone P4, the beloved admin of ours. Milham just improves on his earlier time. Let's see, there's Aston Martins of Teacher Boom, who's good enough for third. Just pips the second row spot and drops Booma to the fourth row.
Teammate is down in P12 at the moment.
Sven is also coming across the line with a 41.9. Get this guy to tier 2, am I right?
Yeah, for sure. He's not sticking around for long.
And there we go. That does it for tier 3 qualifying.
For the stream not to be able to work correctly from the beginning, but now we're here, we're gonna stream the race, so thank you for your understanding, guys.
So, a quick grid rundown. Sven the man in pole position with the AlphaTauri with a whopping 41.9, good enough for tier 2 in my opinion. Ishtar not far behind with the Red Bull with a 42.2. Luke in third, Tichy Boom in fourth, Samet in fifth, Jay O'Leary in sixth, Booma representing the admins in P7, fourth row, sharing with Oswaldo Romeo. Abmo ninth, Pointers rounds out the top 10, and Benibano, Black Charizard, Arctic Squirrel, Cloves, Milham, Major with a disappointment, ending up in P16, Brussels Warrior, and Mighty Chump. So yeah, well, we were fighting with stream issues, but here we are now. So Rigo, any predictions for the rainy race? So it would seem it's not raining all that heavily, so I think it might be an inter start.
Yeah, we got some intel from, I think it was Sven in the chat that said it's going to be a rain to dry race here, so...
So interesting, like in real life, it's going to be changing conditions for our drivers here tonight in the Tier 3 season opener. Man, from what I could watch the qualifying amidst all the stream issues, I think we're in for an exciting race at the top, and of course, plenty of action to follow them. As the 5 lights are on, and someone jumps to start, and they're off with the Tier 3 season opener. Sven getting a good start, but Ishtar coming right alongside him from the outside, but it's really slippery with the inter tires. Everyone seemingly got off. No yellow flags as of yet. Any bravery to El Rouge? Really nice and tidy. The drivers really gotta be careful on these very sleepy conditions. As Abmo has picked up a couple of places at the start, while Oswaldo has lost them a wee bit. Oh, and there's a lunge from Oswaldo, forcing the Haas off the road. Oh, and Abmo
Spinning
spins,
Abmo. No.
throwing away a great start. That's a shame.
And they're 4 wide coming down here.
So let's see.
Done.
Let's see the positions after the start. Osvaldo Romeo with that lunge was able to make 2 positions at the start. Benny Bano 3. And Jay O'Leary loses out big. And so does Abmo, of course, with the spin. But everyone seemingly getting off well. No safety car on the first half of the lap anyway.
It's quite interesting to see here, as you can't really practice wet racing on this game, so it's interesting to see who can adapt quickly here.
Yes, exactly, as Buma is trying to get close to Osvaldo, but it's really hard to follow in the dirty air, and of course the track being very slippy at this point in time. Hopefully it will dry out soon, but for now we have to stick to wet weather racing, as Osvaldo is looking to convert on Tichiboom. Brakes later, but is it too late? Manages to pip on past, but Tichiboom is still side by side. Buma also looking into getting into the party, and poor Tichi loses 2 positions in one corner, or maybe even three. Benny Bono gets on the inside and later on the brakes and taps Buma to the back, but Buma is able to keep it pointing in the right direction, and Jay O'Leary capitalizes on that, says thank you very much.
So Tichi lost 5 places to that.
That was a very sad sequence for Tichi, and hopefully he doesn't have damage from the tap he had on Buma.
I think that was Benny, but I think he seems
maybe
to be fine
it was,
here.
yeah. So
Going
Brussels
down the
Warrior.
Straight. Buma again, slots in behind Osvaldo into Le Camber.
Yeah, thinks better of it, but Osvaldo is clearly having issue with the tricky conditions here. Buma goes a wee bit wide. So there were 2 drivers who pitted on the opening lap, so Brussels Warrior took off the drive-through penalty right away, and Mileham probably had to pit for repairs. As we look to the top, so Sven has taken a 1.5 second lead over Ishtar, and Ishtar has dropped Luke by another 1.5 seconds, as there's a yellow flag. Brussels Warrior has spun, seemingly no damage to his car, but his rear tires are cooked. Hopefully he gets it to point in the correct direction in order to avoid a safety car. Let's see here, Abmo looking in on capitalizing on Mighty Jump after that unlucky spin. I think Abmo had a great start. He was able to make up places, but then the conditions got better of him.
Were he in an incident at Le Combe, or was that Buma and Osvaldo that came together there?
Yeah, it was Osvaldo and Buma, and Abmo had a unfortunate spin as Sven goes fastest. Yeah. The gap now at the top being that same 1.5 seconds, so it's very close on pace for now. Klaus here, the lone Mercedes, hunting down Black Charizard, coming into Lasaurus. I feel like the top 3 is getting away very nicely, and then there's a little summit train forming around or behind him.
Yeah, they're all very close to being at the 1 second mark here.
Klaus comes very nicely out of Aero, and then Radeon pulls up alongside. Let's see who will be the last to break, as is this game's title, and it is Klaus who is able to capitalize, but then overcooks it.
Oof, that was close.
And that move has went straight down to the pen.
That could have been the end of the other Aston Martin of Arctic Squirrel there, who just missed
the braking entirely. I mean, he just couldn't get it to stop, as the track is very slippery at the moment. It's still raining. Not that heavily though.
I wonder if he locked the brakes there, which is easily done in wet conditions.
Yeah, I hear the braking. I'm a wuss, and I'm still using ABS, so I don't really know that much about locking up. But
yeah, I stopped being that and went no assist for this game. We try.
Brave boy. But your pace was unmatched, really, if it weren't for the unfortunate incidents. Anyways, back to the Tier 3 race, where Osvaldo is looking to capitalize on Samet.
Buma seems to drop behind.
Yeah, Buma has dropped a second from the last gaze at that train. But let's see, any mistake can really change the course. As when does another fastest lap, that might
2 seconds.
Yeah, that might be telling us that the conditions are indeed improving. Ishtar has dropped back another 1.5 seconds, and actually Luke, with the Alfa Romeo, is looking to attack Ishtar here. Has to lift through Air Rouge. That's not good with the inter tire. I can understand that with a wet tire, but not nowhere near enough to look to a move. As Jay O'Leary is chasing Booma. But I think there's sort of a waiting phase at the race right now where everyone is just feeling out the conditions and waiting for the perfect window to really make the stop and
yeah, they really want to capitalize when the track is at its like perfect conditions to change, and you can gain so much time if you just pit at the exact right moment here.
Yes, and we're also waiting for the well, you know, DRS enabled, because that is the game's way of telling you when it's the perfect time to pit.
Yeah, or slightly early sometimes. It depends. I've noticed, but as O'Leary is still trying to hunt down Booma here, he's getting very close.
He is, but he must be careful now with the spray and everything to not overcook the braking as did Klaus in the lone Mercedes in P13.
Who has
actually clawed his way past Black Charizard. Amazing. Round Stavolo too. That's a very unusual place to make the move, but Black Charizard seems to be dropping on pace, so good showing from Klaus here.
Very close to Ishtar right now, heading out of Les Ours. Ooh, what can he do?
Let's see. Here? The exit is everything from Les Ours because it determines your entire time. For the first sector, Luke is getting very close if he can stick the exit here, as there's yellow flags in sector 2, and it's a safety car. And it's a safety car. Mighty Jump loses his wing there, and it's gonna be a brief safety car period.
Okay, who pits for slicks here? Like somebody surely. It's like
Mileham is looking
a very
to
long
pit.
Track.
We don't know the exact weather report from Spa as of now, but here's Mileham driving to his pit box. He's gonna pick another set of inters for now.
Yeah, he's still so far back that he can go on another set and then pit the next.
He wasn't gonna lose anything because Brussels is pitting, and so should Mighty Jump, as he's lost his win. Poor Ishtar, man. This is
such a tough decision here. This is such a tough decision up front here. Oh, and there's a drive-through. No way. His lap has gone from bad to worse.
Respect
that
the
was
Delta
such a
guys.
Promising start there. Too bad.
So yeah, the gaps that were there will no longer exist after this period, but Sven had pulled over 5 seconds on Ishtar already, so...
Yeah, Ishtar was really struggling there. I wonder if he managed to overheat the tires there a little bit, or if he drove them too hard, or maybe sliding a bit too much to overheat the tires.
I think it's still wet enough for Inters, as there hasn't been really any indication of the weather conditions improving. As we can see from the graphic, everyone still has Inters on.
Sure.
But let's see if there's gonna be a pit stop cavalcade now. Is anyone gonna try the bold strategy? Sven does not.
Yeah, probably the safe option to just stay on the same tire.
They have to, and I mean, the Inters, at least used to in the last game, have the same endurance as does the hard tire, and they're pretty good once the track is still damp and it's not raining, so gonna be interesting
here.
Who gets it right. I think no one should pit at this stage, because it's very early days and it's still raining from the sky. But
I mean, if you're Major, Arctic Squirrel, Abmo here. Yeah, Abmo goes into the pit here.
Abmo pits, the second McLaren. We've already seen one McLaren pit in this race. Let's see what Abmo does. Is he gonna be the brave and go for the slicks. Pulls into the pit box
Oh,
nicely,
he
and
does.
he is. Everyone's eye should be on Abmo now, as he's the first brave one to pick the medium tires, and it's going to be interesting to see how his pace is going to be.
I respect this call so much. That's just amazing to... Like, he's so far down that it doesn't really matter. He can just feel it out here. And the safety car will be out for another lap.
For sure,
on
the pack
top
is
of this, so...
Pack is not assembled yet, but it's looking... The rain has stopped.
I mean, the rain has stopped. The rain has stopped.
Abmo might have just made the call of the century to go on the medium tires, which, if he is kind enough, just might go to the end. It is a stretch, but they just might. Mediums are gone
it's a stretch, but you never know. Like another safety car staying out, but we saw on Thursday that this is not a good decision to stay out. Like
maybe not. I mean, I started on the hards.
Later in the race, like you saw Rolla and Pyro staying out on all the hards. And they got swallowed. So.
Yeah, it was perfectly on my personal window, and I
yeah, it was perfect for you.
It was. Indeed.
So. Let's see here if Ishtar can pick up the pace again when he's cooled down his tires a little bit. And Brussels also went for the mediums here, further back.
He did, and I think that just might be the right call. The track is drying constantly.
Yeah, if I'm Sven and all the guys now, I just decide to pit because the rain has stopped. The safety car will be out for another lap. If you don't pit now and stay behind and pit at the restart, you will just lose too much, I think.
Yeah, unless the lead guys are looking into stretching the interstint and then going to the mediums afterwards. Yeah. Sven pulls into the pits. So everyone, it's starting right now. Summit stays out, so he's gonna try and grin and bear it out
Benny.
On inters. But yeah, it's a whole pandemonium in the pits. Let's see if anyone takes a speeding.
He's going to be the leading car. Oh, as he has
Easter gets blocked massively. Let's see. Sven gets back out on the medium tire rather nicely, and Abmo has managed to jump, has he?
Ooh, only just. Very close.
That was very close.
Very close.
Oh, and
no, he got the legal overtake on Sven.
Yeah, he had to let it pass.
His front wing was at the line.
But still, amazing tactical call from Abmo, really.
Yeah, played him very beautifully there as Ishtar loses out on Luke in the pits.
Yeah, no surprise there, as the Red Bull pit box is the earliest, and it's very easy to get blocked here.
And I'm looking at Benny right now. He's not the only one on the hard compound here, so he will have such good tires compared to the other guys at the end here.
Yeah, but he's also going to be a wee bit slower on the restart. We saw, not going to spoil anything unless anyone hasn't seen the real life race yet, but the hard tire wasn't really looking all that good. I managed to get it working on Thursday, but it was my opening stint, so...
After I overtook you, but that's another story.
Yeah, of course, it takes a while, and under safety car conditions, it's easier to warm them up as in racing conditions. As I reckon the safety car might be out for another lap. We might be back to full dry once the
surely it is in
flags
this
go
lap
green.
I think it's been out for 3 laps now. It is,
usually but the pack isn't bunched up yet, and the game tends to usually wait for it. Might the jump at the back is still on inters. Will be very interesting to see how the tires behave on Samet, Claus, and Charizard. I think they're gonna drop off massively.
Yeah, the race is pretty much over if there's not another safety car at this point in time.
Yeah, unless there's another safety car, which is always possible. This being ALR and a bunched up grid on a restart, albeit a rolling start.
It doesn't come in this lap. You
were right. It does not, so my prediction was correct.
Oh, no, it's just a pit now for Claw, Charizard and Samet here.
Yeah, they would avoid the traffic but lose the track position, so it will be interesting to see what they do here. As
sure, they have to pit.
They do. It is way too dry for the inter tire, and they're going to lose out massively. Sven is going to regain his lead. Sven is going to regain his lead on the AlphaTauri. Abmo now in second, followed by Luke, Easter, and Osvaldo.
Samet goes on to the hards, along with Charizard and Claw, so that's interesting.
That just might be the better call if there is if there is no safety car period, as the medium's either going to be dead or
as Mighty Champ drives into the wall in the pit lane. Don't tell me he picked up some wing damage there.
His race just seems to be going from bad to worse. There doesn't seem to be any wing damage.
Yeah.
Good stop, and back on the track he goes.
I think the other guys went on to the mediums because it's a softer compound and easier to fire up during the wet phase of the race there.
Yeah, it just might be.
You think so? And now when it's bone dry, I think the hard is the better call in the long run. But it's a gamble. As someone spun out, it's Claw into the wall.
Claw's into the wall, and let's see if he has
no
damage.
Wing. Yeah, no front wing on Claw.
And poor Claw, he's shown a good bit of pace, at least in the rainy conditions, but he needs to claw his way back once more.
Picks up a track limit warning there for going off. Yeah. It's just box for mediums and hope for the best from him here. Oh, I see.
Yeah, he needs another safety car.
Again.
He needs another safety car period, as I think the safety car should be in this lap. The grid was bunched up together.
As Ishtar is the only one that uses the brake and throttle to warm up the tires at the moment, when you're looking at the telemetry here. So I think we should look out for him to having the best tire temperature at the restart here. The rest is just going slowly. So finally we're back to racing soon here.
And safety car will enter the pits after this lap, so let's hop on with Sven. You can see from the bottom right bar there, the green bar, which represents Sven's throttle. Once he slams it, it's back to green flag racing. Gonna be interesting to see if he can get the gap to Apmo, who made the great call to pit onto the dry tire earlier than the others.
Where will he go?
I think it's gonna be a late one. Yeah, he's gonna wait it out. Yeah. So after the chicane...
Oh, he's gone now.
Sven has slammed the throttle, and away we go once more.
Oh!
Oh, he doesn't!
That's a massive moment!
He just took all the pace off and tried to dummy the restart there. As Oswaldo goes for a move right at the restart, looks inside of Easter, who goes outside of Luke with a tremendous move, regaining his third position.
A little bit of contact here, but still fine.
Let's see now through Aero. If it's still damp, it's going to be very dangerous going with the slick tires, but everyone seems to be getting nicely. Oswaldo and Luke.
Drop down.
Oswaldo and Luke on the outside. Going to
on the inside of Abmo.
And Ishtar has regained P2, and Oswaldo takes P4 of Luke Beus. Good bit of racing here early after the restart.
Looks to pick up some pieces here, maybe. Goes very close. Oh, almost onto the grass there, Booma. You don't want to do that.
Not the best of exits after that. And Klaus picks up the first track limit penalty, I think. So a good clean bit of restart here. Ishtar picked up a couple of places right at the restart and is now back on Sven's heels, trying to close out that gap.
Sven is absolutely flying today.
He is. He's my strongest contender for the win, to be honest.
Up.
As the gap
She's closing on to Benny here on the hards. Or Benny's on the hards, sorry.
Yeah, Benny's gonna struggle for a few laps, but once he gets those hards to work, it's gonna take a good 3, 4, 5 laps maybe to really be able to fight on those hards. As there is plenty of shenanigans going into the bus stop chicane. Booma looks to the outside of Luke. Doesn't really get it, tries to set up the move, as the new fastest lap of the race is a 1:45.7. Fairly competitive one, so that tells us the story that the track is completely dry. As we have a good... Oh, and Booma picks up a penalty from the inside of Lasaurus. I mean, that's just how can you cut that corner?
Rookie mistake from our old veteran here. Too bad.
But let's see now if Booma can convert on Luke. Doesn't apply.
Oh, is it? Sure takes one.
He indeed has.
What happened
he has used plenty of ERS to get the move done, and decisively so, as Ishtar is your new race leader, with Sven still hot on his heels.
I think Sven had a moment in Rouge there, because he had a lead of like 1.5 seconds.
He must have. That kind of a lead doesn't melt away on its own. As Ishtar and Sven are looking to get away from Abmo.
Going back to the restart there of Sven, I think he actually had a moment out of the bus stop going too hard, and that caused Abmo to be able to brake because he can't overtake before the start-finish line.
Yeah,
so
that might have been
all momentum that invited Ishtar to the overtake there.
Yeah, that might have been a harmonica movement. As Klaus picks up his second track limit penalty. Not very optimal. You really need to, as you can look through the grid, the gaps are fairly small at the moment. If there is a late safety car, a single 3 second can wreck your hopes for points.
And I think that we will get some DRS action now for the first time tonight.
Yeah, it would seem so, as this is the start of the third racing lap. Ishtar picks up the fastest lap of the race. And there we go, DRS is enabled. What kind of exit does Sven get from Lasaurus? He's using his ERS, I think.
A little bit, but he has a much better batteries in his tank now.
And the gap is 4/10. Will we see a move for the race lead? DRS wide open. Sven the man on Ishtar. The junior versus the senior in terms of teams, but Sven backs off right before Lacombe, and it gets a bad entry.
He's playing the long game here.
Osvaldo has made the move on Abmo, and I think that was Luke who spun. Oh, that's sad. Yeah. He had a great race until now, but now he has to build it all up from the ground again. And Booma's had some sort of a moment as well.
Oh, Booma.
Was Booma involved in that contact? We all know Booma. We all know Booma from the sportsmanship he has. Has he just waited for everyone to pass, or some sort of damage maybe? I don't know.
Stitch also dropped down after the restart here. He's down in P17 now.
There must have been some kind of moment.
I think he served the drive-through. Yeah, that's probably why he's so far back.
Yeah, he did, because he isn't penalized anymore.
Yeah.
But a terrible moment for Luke and Booma, who are now out of the points. Benny Bono
promotes O'Leary to P5 and Pointers to P7 here for the Williams
guys. Yeah, and Benny to P6 with the hard tires.
As Milam is back into the race, chasing down Pointers into the bus stop chicane here.
Is he gonna go for a move under braking? No.
He was the one pitting the first lap for a wing damage there, so it's nice to see that he can actually fight back.
The lead two are still fighting. The junior against the senior team. Sven with a gap of 3/10 should be able to pick up lead from Ishtar for now. But these two are seemingly picking up positions one after another. And a comfortable move around the outside. Not a real sweat broken from Sven there. As Klaus has his third penalty already. Mileham has made it work on Pointers with the DRS assistance.
Past us, the Aston of Arctic into Lacombe, but he breaks into the back of Major. Oh no!
That's wing damage. That's wing damage picked up, and the Ferrari's terrible day continues as Samet Turkmen has now to limp back to the garage for repairs. Terrible moment there. As he was just about to make the move around Arctic Squirrel, who is now all the way on the back of Major, who has already blown all of his ERS. Let's see now, run Puhon. Here is an overtaking opportunity if you get a better exit. Arctic
I think
really
he might
close.
Have some wing damage here. Why is he this slow?
Looking onto the outside.
He was running very quickly before.
He was. He might be carrying some damage here. As the lead two they're just off. And I think this battle might rage on going to the line right at the end, as you want to be the one behind starting the final lap. As a little over half of the race has been done and dusted.
Abmo putting some pressure on Osvaldo here.
He is.
For the last podium places.
Let's see who gets the better exit there, as it seemingly is Osvaldo, able to pick up a good 10th on acceleration. Looking up to the lead again with the DRS zone. Are these two gonna swap positions once more? Yes, they are. Isher going to the inside and comfortably gets the move done before Lacombe. And the lead two just swap places and take seconds off everyone else.
If I am Isher here, I would be content to sit back in P2 to regain some ERS and save the tires a little bit. Just let
maybe, but
Sven's pace drag you along a little bit here.
But let's remember the tire issue. Almost everyone has 6-lap old mediums, and there's still 10 racing laps to do. So that might be a stretch.
I think they're looking to pit for the softs later on. I think here
they might be. Yeah, and Uster picks up a penalty on exit. Now, if Sven can keep it tidy, the race is his basically. And of course, if there's yet another safety car. As
Benny starts to work those hard tires a little bit here.
Aston
back into the DRS of O'Leary here.
Aston and the Haas of Major have swapped places, and Luke now looking to come back onto the points. Thinking better of the move right now. Coming to the bus stop chicane, Admo, 2/10 on Osvaldo. Perhaps a move coming on to the Kimmel Straight. Admo has been really conservative with his ERS. Still over 80% on his tank. Or battery, you should say.
As we are about to switch the race leader again here.
We are, because Easter didn't get the best of exits through El Rouge. But Sven is actually gonna be on the chase. He's not looking to get the move done here. He lifted once Easter took the defensive line there. So Sven now trying to play tactical, as Mileham has made it past Benny Bono.
Was that my first ever commentator's curse, maybe?
Maybe it was. And a terrible Kimmel Straight for Arctic Squirrel, as Luke Beus picks up 2 places. A very nice move from the Alpha driver, who had a promising early race.
The Haas there. Down in the right-hander. The little love tap there, but it all seems to be fine at this very tough point in time.
This is ALR. A little wheel banging has never killed anyone.
Yeah, fast forward, you see Osvaldo defending from Admo here for the final podium here.
Yeah, so there's like two to three real battles forming on within the top 10. There's also, of course, the lead 2, who have already pulled a 8.5 second gap over everyone else, and then there is this train stretching from P3 to P8, pointers looking from behind, and Klaus
is still struggling with the track limits here.
Really struggling with the track limits. He knows what to practice for the upcoming weeks. Hello, Terminator. What's up? As Sven pits, our provisional race leader pits very early.
Spuma is looking to overtake Black Charizard into the bus stop chicane here. Will he go for the move? No. He breaks over.
No, not yet. But let's see. There's also plenty of other people pitting. Luke and Major also head onto the pits. And Sven picks another set of mediums, interestingly. He's looking to play the long game. This is very interesting
strategy here from the lot of them. Like, if you're this close, you go 1 or 2 more laps and then go to the softs instead.
He might have used a lot of his tire. As Benny Bono and Mileham swap positions once more. Maybe the hards are now starting to work over the mediums.
But look at this. Everyone's looking to pit here who's on the medium, so that really puts Benny in a really good position along with Charizard here.
He should, yeah, but I mean... Oh, and there's been a retirement. And a safety car. That really wrecks Sven's tactical decision to pit early.
As it's his teammate that retires as well.
Not really beneficial for Sven, who is now down in P8, although with fresh tires and a whole lot of pace. Everyone should pit now for the softs, man.
Yeah.
The safety car is going to be out for 2 laps, maybe even more. And the softs are good for that 5 laps, and not any longer.
But the good thing for Svenne here is that he will only lose out to Ishtar. That he was behind when he pitted anyway, so...
Yes, and let's remember that Ishtar still has that track limit penalty, as Ishtar now pulls on to the pits. And now we hop on to Sven. We hop on to Sven because everyone should pit. Is Sven gonna inherit the lead or not? He's really eager to push, but the delta is really dragging him down.
Hopefully Benny was looking at, and he pits, yeah.
Yeah, everyone pits, and here's Sven now, coming to the final corner. Ishtar now on the pit exit, and Sven is able to regain P2. So he didn't lose out even though he pitted early. But must have been
it wasn't close.
Yeah, in the end it must have been a whole heart in the mouth moment. But the tire advantage, at least in my opinion, is definitely with everyone who picked the softs. As they can save the softs for another lap or two, which the safety car is going to be out, and then it's just full send for the rest of the race. Sven doesn't have to worry about tires now, so that's good, but still the grip disadvantage, especially early on, is going to be there. So
Ishtar's play needs to be to get out of Sven's DRS in the beginning here after the safety car restart.
Yeah,
hope that he can gap him with the fresh softs, but Sven's pace has been phenomenal.
As the first lap.
Quickest on the... Yeah, so... That would be interesting, but since Ishtar has that 3-second penalty, Sven shouldn't worry too much.
The first lap is going to be absolutely crucial for Ishtar to break the DRS, because only then, and only then, he can gap Sven.
Yeah, to be fair, I think Sven should look behind at the restart here. Just keep that P2 for now. Like, that should be his main focus.
Of course, because Osvaldo and Abmo for sure are very hungry to take his place, as I think the safety car is going to be on for
one more lap.
One more lap maximum, because the grid is already bunched up together. Unfortunate for Brussels, as he's the first retirement of the season opener here in Tier 3. Not a lot of incidents, which I'm pretty happy about.
I think Buma have made a little Ferrari moment down in P16 as he goes on to the mediums when he's that far back.
Interestingly. I mean, what are you going to lose? I mean, of course we're here.
Look at Mighty Jump here. In the middle of the pack, 8-lap-old mediums.
Yeah, he was trying to just get the track position and then park the Ferrari bus on the apex. But
could be interesting.
Yeah, but that's a one way to pick up positions in safety car conditions. So, anyways, it's going to be interesting to see, and I really hope we won't see another safety car and we'll get some good green flag racing here in Tier 3 season opener for season 13.
Really looking at ALR and Abmo here and hoping that they could shake things up a bit. Like, put some pressure on Sven here.
For sure, and there have been a lot of successful strategies here. Benny Bono, I think he was like P10 or something, has really, even though he couldn't complete the strategy of staying on the hard tires to the end, with which he could have been very strong, and looking to maybe finish on the podium even.
Yeah, he's pretty annoyed at that fact that the safety car came out there, because he was looking so good for the win there. When everyone on the mediums deciding to pit again, he could have stayed to the end of those hards. So
he could have, but you know, it's ALR. It's always going to be a sprint to the end. No, but really, it's been fairly clean. It's been fairly clean. So I'm very happy about that. Even in Tier 2, which we both raced, and of course here in Tier 3. Plenty of safety cars are always in the mix.
Like I said after the Tier 2 race, that we can blame it on being a bit rusty here, and that's what we have seen with some guys that going too fast after the camel straight, braking too late, tapping each other a little bit. So, I mean, and other than that, just a couple of love taps, and it's all been fine. So, yeah. They're doing good. They're behaving themselves.
For sure, as the safety car should be in this lap. And very interesting run to the finish now, as Sven on the medium tires challenging for the win has really been on a league of his own with Ishtar, the former Tier 2 drivers, I think. Ishtar actually was in Tier 1. but the new game not suiting him probably that well. Of course, always aggressive Osvaldo in P3, looking to complete rather intact race. And Abmo with the genius strategy solution earlier on, as the safety car will enter the pits.
So if you're Ishtar here, do you wait until the last final sector? Like you welcome all the guys onto the main straights and hope for a late Osvaldo die bump on Sven into Lazors? Like get them close enough so they can start fight with Sven here, or are you going early to try and break the 3 second immediately? So
if I was in that Red Bull car, I would absolutely take it very slow, and right after Blashamon, once the car behind me is on the apex, I would floor it, because the last restart was so late. Or I would just go for the same play, but that's all for Ishtar to decide, as he has went just as I predicted. Sven wasn't
Osvaldo was napping along with Admo O'Leary, yeah.
So good call from Ishtar here, as he absolutely needs to get rid of that DRS. As there is yellow flags behind, but that's probably due to slower moving cars. Everyone gets away nicely. And let's see now, Sven, interestingly, 9.5 tenths behind already after Lazors. Ishtar actually needs to absolutely needs to shred those tires in order to get the gap to grow. All of the ERS in play. The gaps are actually quite wide here. No really attack.
I think Mighty Chump as he forces the Aston out on the grass there.
A bit naughty from the Ferraris, but it hasn't really gone their way tonight. As Mileham looks to the inside, there's a little log tap. And he's around.
He's really been a moving chicane here on the restart, Mighty Chump.
He has, but with those tires, it shouldn't be a surprise, as Arctic Squirrel gets on the inside and gets the move decisively done. Luke Bayes looks to follow suit with much fresher tires out of turn 9. Easy move.
Beautiful.
Mighty Chump really needs to pull out all the stretches here in order to retain the points paying position.
1.5 in the front.
1.5 in the front. So Ishtar has succeeded on detaching the DRS, but that isn't nearly enough. He needs to pull that 3 second gap, remember.
Look at the pace difference on the top. Like Ishtar is already 4 or 5 seconds clear from Osvaldo.
He should set the fastest lap here. He's probably blown all of his DRS as he has. And there has been another retirement.
And it's a VSC.
Luckily only a VSC. That doesn't ruin Ishtar's race here, but everyone needs to be really careful now on the restart to get the best possible exit once the safety car, the VSC is ending.
This could either be really good for Ishtar or really bad.
Yes, exactly. It's all about which of the drivers plays at the best here, as there's no really real fights going on. Major close to jump, but not all that surprisingly. Looking at the tire age the drivers have.
But it's even more playing in the favor of the soft runners here.
It is, because they can save the tire. VSC blinked there for a sec, I thought. And we're back underway. Ishtar gets a nice restart and the gap back up to 2 seconds. He needs to keep this up in order to win the season opener here in Tier 3 in Belgium, as Mighty Champ loses another place. Looking down further to the back, no real changes in the gaps. Luke Bayus has gotten fairly close to Arctic Squirrel. To be fair, Luke would have deserved a top 5 position here.
Yeah, for sure. He was running very well.
As Klaus picks up yet another track limit penalty, and there's a yellow. There has been an incident.
Boom around again. I think it was an incident with the Mercedes of Claw here.
The Aston stage just goes from bad to worse, but no safety car luckily this time.
So it keeps being.
And Mighty Champ keeps losing positions, nearly forces his teammate wide. But the tire wear is just way too much, man. He's just a chicane over there. Pretty brave to not pit under safety car conditions, as the DRS comes alive now. And Jay O'Leary, looking from the top, is the only driver to have DRS. Looking to get the... Oh, and there's There has
That's
been
the
a Ferrari,
Ferrari of
and then that's the
Mighty.
Mighty Jump. His tires must be cooked. He needs to pit right now. As we head back, Jay O'Leary's got a nice exit out of Lasaurus. Let's see.
Come on, Joe. What can you do here?
No lifting through El Rouge. The gap
Good
3
exit.
tenths. DRS wide open. O'Leary on Abmo and gets it done decisively on the straight. With Benny Bano not far behind.
Very defensive line into the comp there, inviting Benny on the back of Abmo here.
Oh, and there's Luke Bayus and Arctic Squirrel going wheel to wheel, and Luke Bayus gets the job done on the Aston Martin.
It's just a hammer down for Luke here to see what he can salvage from
It
this
is. As we looked at the top, the gap now 2.5 seconds. Not enough just yet. Ishtar just needs that little bit more in order to convert this into a win with the unlucky track limit penalty.
Ishtar's, like the soft tires, if I remember correctly, like works very well for 5 laps. So the last lap here will be
that might be
very
sleepy.
interesting to see if Sven can claw back in that into the 3 seconds if he were to be outside of that. As Arctic Squirrel on the back of Luke Bow here again. The Dutch names are so hard to pronounce.
Fight over P8 here. As Williams looks to be the most successful. Sorry, Alpine looks to be the most successful team here in the season opener. But let's see this through first. As Abmo is looking to regain his P4 back from Jay O'Leary.
Abmo and Benny has a lot of ERS.
Oh,
as Benny hits Abmo! No! Does he have wing damage now? He's beached. You need to reset the track. Okay, no, he's not. He's just playing fair like he is, and that's unfortunately going to be in the stewards later on, as Benny will probably get a 5-second penalty there.
He probably will, which would drop him further back. Benny just missed the braking there. You were saying
about the Alpines?
I was saying about the Alpines, but there seems to be a penalty coming to Benny's way. But still looking strong in P3 and 5, as Williams is in P4 and P6 with Jay O'Leary and pointers.
Oh, O'Leary, can he hunt down Oswaldo here for the final podium position here? Not looking quite likely, but you never know.
Yeah, there's only 1.5 laps to go, and Sven 2.7 behind Ishtar.
So very close, as they are equal on ERS at the moment here.
As we can see, Sven is now taking a whole ton of risks.
This is a yellow flag
round. No safety cars anymore.
Jump. Yeah, it's too close to the end here. As Ishtar has broken the 3 second, as Sven gets back in it.
Or at least
so
it's very close. I don't know about warnings. Could you check the warnings really quick, Rigo? To see how much of a risk Sven can take.
Yes, sir.
To challenge for the win.
I will do just that.
It's going to be a final lap shootout here in Belgium as Ishtar
He just got his second warning.
So 2 warnings with Sven. 1 more track limit bridge, and the win is going to Ishtar.
2 to go.
Yeah, Ishtar's way as the final lap is underway. Ishtar in the Red Bull, Sven in the AlphaTauri. Gap now 3.2 seconds. Ishtar needs to keep this going. Sven has nearly blown off all his ERS, and so is Ishtar, so everything they have is being thrown to this final lap here.
Mano y mano.
Mano y mano. As further down the pack, Benny is going to be able to open up DRS on Leary, who's all out of ERS, but I think the gap might be just too much to make a move here. As Luke has made it past pointers. Luke able to claw his way, nearly misses the braking. Pointers looks to the outside, but thinks better of it, and Luke now up into P6.
As it stands, the both houses here has a penalty, so Abmo might salvage a point from this race after all. He's been through
He just
race,
might,
so.
yeah. He can overtake the houses and pick up the final
as
point.
Luke picks up a 3-second penalty.
Luke picks up a penalty, and that would drop him all the way down to P8. That's not optimal here in the final lap. As we now look to the front, where the win is going to be...
5 tenths.
I think it's going to go Ishtar's way here.
Don't brake too late into the chicane, Ismail.
His hands must be sweating as he's coming down to the final bus stop chicane at the 100-meter board. No, goes a bit wide.
Deep.
Little deep, but the gap being 7/10. Ishtar crosses the line first, but is it going to be enough? Sven coming right back at him, and Ishtar wins the season opener by 4/10 despite the track limit penalty. Osvaldo with a great race comes home P3. Jay O'Leary 4th. Benny with a penalty forthcoming crosses the line 5th. And Luke deserved way more from this race than a lowly P8. Let's see now if Abmo picks up the final point, and that rounds out your top 10. With Haas's just missing out on points here in season opener. Klaus with a full hour of track limit penalties. Comes home
unfortunate.
14th, I think, maybe. And the Ferraris just crossed the line.
He didn't pit for the Inters there, and that was his race almost done at the point of that first safety car there.
And that will do it for the season opener with Ishtar.
Ishtar takes it home.
It was the call to go onto the softs that really made the difference here.
That second safety car really screwed with Sven there.
Yeah.
That made everyone being able to go onto the soft there. And
there's going to be some words said at the AlphaTauri garage here tonight. Yeah, because Sven pitted before the safety car. Let's remember that. Sven pitted before the safety car under the mediums and didn't expect there to be a safety car period, because then it was way too early to go on to the softs. As Ishtar picks up the winner's trophy, all too familiar sight. The Red Bull on top. And let's see your final finishing order, at least before the possible stewards penalties. Ishtar picking up the win and the fastest lap to set the pace for everyone else here in the season opener of Tier 3. Sven the man, after a great drive, maybe could have deserved the win, but got unlucky with the second safety car, comes home second, and Osvaldo rounds out the podium after a very good drive from him as well. Jay O'Leary comes home 4th, Benny in 5th, Pointers in 6th, Arctic in 7th, unlucky Luke, who could have been in the podium mix in my opinion, comes home 8th. Black Charizard 9th, Abmo running out the top 10 and the final driver to score points here today, followed by the Haases, Tichiboom, Samet, Klaus with an hour of track limit penalties. You know what to train for next week for, bro. And Mighty Champ to be the final finisher here today. Wow. So, the ALR season well and truly underway, Rigo.
Yeah, but I just can't seem to stop laughing at your unlucky Luke joke there. That was very, very clean. Solid performance there.
That's why everyone loves me. I'm like unintentionally funny.
Yeah, that was like the peak finish joke there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Unintentionally funny. Yeah. No, but it was a great race. Great performance from mostly of the guys here.
Great race. I mean, Benny will probably pick up some post-race penalties, but for that, we have to see back to the ALR channel and to the steward submissions. And, well, Rigo, absolute pleasure of you joining me in the commentator box. Maybe we will do this again. Depends on whether my busy ass has the time.
I sure hope so. It was a blast for me here. So, Tier 3, looking forward to see you on the track next week at Paul Ricard.
France, what are your predictions there? I mean, also possible rain.
I feel like Buma needs to step up again. So he has a week of practice before him here. So, and the O'Leary podium maybe. Maybe
for the hopeful.
Yeah, but, for the hopeful.
Ishtar and Sven really set the pace here today. I think they will be at the top in France as well. A really technical track that.
It depends if Ishtar will be here in Tier 3 next week, because what he forgot was that I told him that if you win the first race back in Tier 3, you're going straight back to Tier 1.
Right.
And he forgot about that, and he won the first race here, so as he has a reserve, he might be promoted.
But only just.
Only just. But
Sven really gave him a run of his money, and for a good while it seemed like Sven would win that race.
Yes, Sven were the quicker of the two of them there. He just got unlucky, so along with his Dutch friend there, unlucky Luke. So.
But anyways, for tonight's broadcast, my name was Allu, joined by Rigo. Welcome back Tier 3, welcome back ALR, and we will see you next time. Bye bye.
Bye bye.